Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Thank you very much for joining me. This is my first live stream for a while, and this is going to be the World Cup of John Lennon Mind Games songs. We are going to kick that off very shortly. But first of all, I want to let a few people join. I've got a couple of questions to throw out to you before we start. And I want to hear from everybody about how you're getting on with the new John Lennon Mind Games box, whether that's this box, the 6 CD 2 Blu-ray, the huge box, the vinyl, 2 CD, whatever, streaming, whatever. I want to hear how you're getting on with it. So I'm going to kick you off, first of all, with a little poll. Have a look in the chat. There's a little poll come through for you. Do you think the new remix of Mind Games is an improvement over previous mixes? Let us know what you think. It's weird, is this? Because I've been talking about Mind Games for such a long time now, but I know I've been in a fortunate position where I've had access to this stuff and not everybody has. It's great that people now have got access to it and can talk about it with people who actually have heard this stuff as well. So hello everybody, I hope you can all hear me okay. Thank you very much for your hellos. Hello everybody. Oh, hi, Andrew Imrie. Yes, you asked me this question yesterday, didn't you? And I said, bring it up. It's a good question. We will come to that because I've just launched a poll. We'll come to your question shortly. Remind me if I forget to ask it to the group. But let's just have a look how this poll is going. 93% of you so far think that the new remix is an improvement over previous mixes. Down to 90% now. That's great. I agree. It's just showing, I think it's showing off the album that it always could have been. I didn't realise how good the musicianship was on the album until I heard the new remix, the sessions and everything like that, and I think it's just allowed it to really be the album that it could have been. Marcus, hi there. You've got it on 5.1, but it's been a revelation. Sounds lovely. I haven't got 5.1 capability. I may well have someday. And I'll be cracking all of this stuff open and all the other 5.1 discs that I've got as and when that happens. Yeah, Michael, the sax is missing on One Day at a Time. That's sad. You're saying. I don't know the reason why. I don't know why that decision was made, but it is on. There's extended sax on some of the other versions that are in the box set, so I hope people are enjoying that as well. What we've got here, hi Andrew, says Andrew, listened through the main album twice and the remix sounds fab, still think it's one of John's weaker albums, 4 or 5 good songs, but the rest a bit meh in terms of songwriting. Fair enough. I mean, I've been very open about the fact that it's not it's not in my top 2 or 3 John Lennon albums. What I think it has done, I think it's closed the gap a lot. It's certainly closed the gap to Walls and Bridges for me. It'd be interesting to see if and when a Walls and Bridges box come out. Does that zoom ahead again? I don't know. Oh, Elijah, thank you very much. That is very kind of you. Big fan of the channel. Thanks for the content. Really loving the physical box set, but I hope the hidden tracks are added to streaming. Well, we'll see whether or not that happens, but thank you, Elijah. That is very much appreciated. Will the hidden tracks ever be added to streaming? I don't know. I mean, I think they've got to have an incentive for people to buy the bigger box, haven't they? So I don't know. We'll see. We will see. So how's this? We've still got 81% of the people think that the remix is an improvement over previous versions, which is very good to hear. What have we got? Yakking with Friends. Stick around. I want to talk about that later. I might have a bit of it. Might have a bit of info. It might not be what you're wanting to hear, but I might have a bit of info on that. Hi Alan, there's better music on the Elements mix which would have improved the final version. I love the Elements mixes and especially the Elemental mixes as well on this. I think are a really good addition. Although I think the Elemental mixes here are much more like what the Elements mixes were on the previous versions. And the Elements mix here is something new. Hi Danny, another YouTuber said Sean Lennon doesn't like saxophones at all, and that's why it's been turned down or removed completely. I was thinking about this yesterday, and I was thinking I need to go back and listen to Sean's last album again, Asterisms. Really good album, but I can't. It's very sort of jazzy, and I can't remember whether it's got saxophones on it. Because I was thinking if it has, then that flies in the face of this. But I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to end the poll anyway. 83% of you think the new remix of Mind Games is an improvement over previous mixes. Fantastic. Don't forget, I'm going to be doing the World Cup of Mind Games songs very soon. I've got all the pieces of paper here to do the draw. It's kicking off. But first of all, let's go back to that question from Andrew Imrie from a few minutes ago, because he did. I did promise him that I would cover this. The album did not have a follow-up single, so what would have made the best follow-up single after, I presume that means Mind Games, from the Mind Games album? What do you think? Let us know in the chat. What do you think would have been a good follow-up single to Mind Games had that happened? While you're having to think about that, hi James, first time really listening to this album, really enjoying getting into it, and the remix sounds great to my ears. It's good. I like it when things like this allow you to appreciate an album that you've maybe not delved into too much before. I'm thinking of this a little bit like the McCartney 2 archive collection, which that was a great edition of the archive collection. But I think it helped me, and I think it helped a lot of other people as well to really appreciate that album, especially with some of the other songs, like Secret Friend, Check My Machine, Blue Sway, and all that stuff. I think of this as being like a bit of an equivalent to that, really. Okay, so there's a few people saying Out the Blue as a single. Yeah, fair enough. I don't think that's actually Mr. Mayo, because I don't think Mean Mr. Mayo would say that. I think that's somebody pretending to be Mean Mr. Mayo. We will see. We will see. I might be doing him a disservice there. Right, okay, there's a few people saying Out of the Blue, there's a few people saying Bring on the Lucy. George, hi George, you're saying Intuition could have been a follow-up. We've got a vote for I Know. So, yeah, okay, good. Right, well, there's a few songs keep getting repeated there. So, Mind Games World Cup. Okay, here's how it's going to work. Some of you will have done these World Cups with me before. Some of you might be joining for the very first time. Whichever, welcome. You are very welcome. You're going to pick the winners here, not me. We're going to do like a knockout style draw, which we haven't made the draw yet. We're going to do that live. And then I'll do polls where you can vote for which song you want to go through to the next round. And we will see where we end up. So I am including, I've got all the album songs in there. I'm just going to tell you a little bit how this is going to work. I'm also going to include in the draw the extra songs that are in the new box set. So Rock and Roll People will be included. I'm the Greatest. Mellotron Magic Weird Slide Guitar. And also, I'll tell you why I'm keeping Utopian National Anthem separate in a second, but they're all going to be included as well. So that means we've got 15 songs. I've done the working out here. We need to put, We need to put one song through straight to the quarterfinals. The other 14 songs will fight it out for the other 7 places. It's all quite complicated. So I'm not putting these. None of these songs that I've just shown you are going straight through to the quarterfinal. They can join afterwards. But one of these, I'm going to draw one of these now. In fact, let me just. I'm just going to bring up my draw on screen, because I'm going to put one of these songs, and I don't know which it is going straight through into the quarterfinal. It is I See My Sen. I'm sorry. Which, I mean, that's a good contender for going quite far in this competition already. But I'm going to put that. I might not have spelt it right. That's going straight through into the quarterfinal. So we're going to do the draw now, and then we'll start getting some matches. So we've got You Are Here. Hang on, let's make sure you can see that. Is going to play against Meat City. You don't have to vote yet. We're going to do that in a moment, but let's just get those on here. Meet City. Okay, I need to put those other 4 in here as well now. Forgot about that. Right, okay, so our next match will be, we've got the title track. Mind Games is going to play against, let's have a look. Out the blue. Oh wow, that's the danger of an open draw. Some people say, why don't you seed it so those things don't happen? And then one time I did and everybody complained, you can't do that, it's cheating. That could have been a final. We've got another big hitter here. Bring on the Lucy is going to play Intuition. Okay, right, so Bring on the Lucy is going to play Intuition. Okay, I've pulled 2 out here. I've pulled 2, so that's good. We have got the, I wonder how far this is going to go. The Utopian International Anthem is going to play One Day at a Time. I wonder what might win that. I'm just going to put Utopian in there. Okay, that's that draw. We've got a few more. We should have 6 more in here. And then we can start actually getting on with the business. We've got I Know is going to play against I'm the Greatest. Okay. I can't type. I'm the Greatest. Okay, I've got 2 more in my hand. We've got one of the hidden tracks here. Mellotron Magic Weird Slide Guitar is going to play against Only People. Okay, so I'm just going to put Mellotron there because you don't want to watch me typing all night. Okay, and we should have 2 left in here. We have. Get rid of my mixing bowl. Weighing Scales mixing bowl. Tight As is going to play against another one of the hidden tracks, Rock and Roll People. Okay, so that's the draw done. That is the draw. Right, okay. Are you all still with me? Chuck them on the floor. Sort them out later. Right, I'm just going to come back to the chat a second before we actually start the World Cup. Okay, the first comment I see is, please let Andrew decide how it works, please, everyone. Has there been some arguing? Let's have a look. I'm just going to go back and see what we've got on here. Out the Blue is a single. Yeah, we've got a lot of people mentioning Out the Blue is a single. Okay, cool. What else have we got? I still don't believe that is actually Mean Mr. Mayo, because he wouldn't be doing that here. So it's not you, it's an intruder. Right, okay. So, are we ready? I'm sweating here. Are we ready to do the first match? So this is going to be You Are Here versus Meet City. The winner is going to play Isemisen in the quarterfinal. So I'm just going to do your poll. Okay. This is how I do these things. So You Are Here. You should have that poll through now. Start voting. Start voting for who you think you would like to put through to the next round. You Are Here or Meet City. Interesting. Could this be fairly close, I wonder? You Are Here is a song that I think has, certainly in my mind, its reputation has gone like that with this new box. Going back right back to the EP that came out back in April, that 11-minute version, and it was a song that I'd really not paid that much attention to over the years, but I thought it's actually a really beautiful song. Meet City, probably one of John's better rockers that he did in his solo career. So there would be, I mean, it's struggling here in this poll, but certainly Meet City is worthy of doing well, but I don't think it's going to get very far here, to be honest. You Are Here, Meet City. You Are Here's got 61% of the votes at the moment. It's doing well. Let me just go back to the chat a second while we are letting people vote on that. Okay, that should be the final. I'm thinking, is that the Mind Games Out the Blue one? Possibly. Yeah, Andrew says 2 potential finalists playing the first round. Nightmare. This is what happens. It's like the FA Cup. This. I wanted to get into the World Cup this week because the Euros ended on such an awful note. Oh, let's get straight into the World Cup and put that to the back of our mind. It was a very sad night on Sunday night. Right, okay, I'm just going to give this a few more seconds. Okay, You Are Here has got 62%. I don't think anything's going to catch it. So I'm going to end that poll. You Are Here has knocked out Meat City straight away. Peteri, is it? I think that last title should be Rock and Roll People instead of Only People. Thank you for keeping on top of my admin. Yes, okay, we'll do that. We'll get that fixed. There you go, Rock and Roll People. It's the pressure. I just go to mush when there's a camera on me. Okay, so they did do us proud, Tyrone. They did do us proud. Just wasn't to be, was it? We got beat by the best team. I'm taking some comfort in that. If we'd have lost to, like Albania or somebody on Sunday night, it just would have been unforgivable. Anyway, so we've got You Are Here is through to the next round. Once this World Cup's finished, I will stay on for a little while. We can talk about other things. I do specifically want to talk about something to do with one hand clapping. I've had a very specific comment sent to me many times, including today, and I want to address something about that. Okay, next we've got Mind Games versus Out the Blue. This is what happens in an open draw. You can get things like this. Could have been the final. But like France and Germany, sometimes the teams you think are going to do well don't get to the final, do they? So we've got Mind Games versus Out the Blue. Okay, you should have that pulled through now. This is your next match. If anything's going to beat Mind Games, Out the Blue's probably got about the best chance. I think. So let's see how this poll goes. We've got Mind Games on 73% at the moment. Mind Games is doing very well. I think Out of the Blue is always going to be up against it here. Out of the Blue would it have beaten just about any other song here? I don't know, Lewis. I don't know what's with all the fake accounts trolling. Yeah. If I had an admin person who could take care of that sort of thing while I was busy doing this, then that would be very handy. But I don't. It's just me. It's just little old me. Right. How's this poll going? Let's have a look. Mind Games is on 73%. I'm going to end this poll. Out the Blue ain't coming back from that. That's a big casualty in the first round, but not surprising really, considering what it was up against. So, Mind Games is going through to the next round. Oops, put a little hash on there, get rid of that. Okay, next interesting matchup we've got next. Bring on the Lucy, Free the People Now versus Intuition. So let's get you a poll. For that, let me just type that out. Bring on the Lucy. Versus what? Intuition. Okay, polls through. let's see how we get on with this one while I have a little look at the chat. Mind Games is one of the most infectious hooks ever, says Marcus Maximus. It is a great song. It certainly is a great song. I really love the elemental mix of it. It's just so sparse, but John's voice sounds incredible when it comes through. Really nice. It might even be my favourite version of Mind Games now, that elemental mix. Andrew says, yeah, I love Mind Games, but the intro makes me want a cuppa because it sounds like a kettle boiling. Oh, one of those old style whistle kettles. Okay. Station Minute, never been a fan of Bring On The Lucy, but the remix is an improvement. It's interesting that, because I'm a bit the other way with this. I've always been a fan of Bring On The Lucy. It's been one of my favourite songs on the album, and it's the one remix on the album that I've struggled with a little bit. But maybe I'm in a minority there. I don't know. How's this poll going anyway? Bring On The Lucy's got 69%. It's doing well. I'm pleased to see that. Intuition isn't one of my favourite songs on the album, so I'm glad that Bring On The Lucy, which very much is traditionally probably my favourite song on the album, to be honest, I'm glad it's going through. And it is going through. There's no catching up now for Intuition. So I am going to end that poll. And Bring On The Lucy goes through where it can no doubt get absolutely hammered by Mind Games in the quarterfinal. But we'll see. Oh, this should be a fun one. This is the Utopian International Anthem versus an actual song, One Day at a Time. So let's see. Wouldn't this be embarrassing if Utopian National Anthem won? Surely it won't. Unless you're all feeling completely corrupt. But let's try and have a fair poll here. Utopian National Anthem versus One Day at a Time. That should be there for you now for you to vote on. Let's see what else have we got. The elemental mix of Intuition is better to me than the album version. Okay, cool. I need to go back and have a listen to that as well. There's so many different versions that I'm still trying to get them all clear in my mind. Hi Tyrone, Meat City is brilliant. Yeah, it's a song that I'm, again, another one that I'm sort of really enjoying more lately. Jimmy Jazz says, nice cover of Bring On The Lucy by Richard Ashcroft a couple of years back too. Yes, he did a good version of that. I think, was he in Abbey Road doing that, if I remember rightly? I could be wrong, but I think he was. Mark agrees. John's voice sounds so great, says Pepper Chips. Hello, Pepper Chips. He did not like his own voice very much, so much lower in the original mix. I think he double-tracked his vocals. Yeah, maybe so. But yeah, that's one of the things with the Ultimate Mixes, isn't it? It's designed to, one of the things is to really show off John's voice at his best, and there ain't many better voices to show off, is there really, than that? It's outrageous here that the Utopian International Anthem has got nearly a third of the votes here against an actual song, One Day at a Time. It's old Boaty McBoatface, isn't it? Here. Yes. Oh, Tomeo being a absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You know, I've said various critical things about things in this set and the other sets. The Plastic Ono Band set that I was sent by the Lennons as well. So I am always free to say exactly what I want, and I always will. But generally, they do a really good job here. And I'm not going to not say that just because it sounds like, oh, he's saying it because he got sent it. So absolute nonsense there from Toe Mayo, who isn't Joe Mayo. The elemental mix of One Day at a Time, phenomenal, better than the album version in my opinion. Cool. Okay, good. I do really like the One Day at a Time versions that they've got where John isn't singing falsetto. because I don't think it really suited the song too much. Hey Joe, first time comment, long time watcher. Hi there. Is there a way for me to get a Lennon cube, or have they all been sold out? Well, I don't know what country you're in, Joe. They're certainly still available over here on the John Lennon website. I don't know how much. I don't know how many of them. I don't know how many of them there are, but. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Right, this poll is One Day at a Time is really winning this, obviously, over the Utopian National Anthem. So One Day at a Time is going through to the next round, where it will play either I Know, or I'm the Greatest. So let's get you a poll for that. So I know, or I'm the Greatest is, for anybody who's joining recently, hello, but I'm the Greatest is included because it's one of the tracks in the expanded set, so I'm including those in here as well. Obviously the John's demo version of what was given to Ringo. So you've got the poll here, I Know versus I'm the Greatest. This could be an interesting one, because I know I'm the Greatest obviously is a well-loved song. I Know is a song that for me, when the 2002 Peter Cobbin remix came out, I'd never really taken too much notice of that song, but it sounded great on that remix, and it became one of my favourites on the album. It's one that I really do like, and it's got off to a good start here, 71%. So it's doing well. Let's just have a look. Something on here. Where are we? Andrew Imrie is saying some people saying they can't rip the 2 CD Mind Games on their computer. Anyone had this problem? Well, I'm not the best person to answer that, because I ripped the Blu-rays, which were no problem at all. I've heard that people have had trouble with the hidden tracks. Some people have, some people haven't. There is a way. I did see a video on YouTube that shows you how you can get to the hidden tracks if you're ripping them to a computer. So yeah, I think some people have had issues with that, which is a shame. And I think some of it depends on what type of CD player you've got, what kind of CD drive you've got. So it is tricky for some people, which is a shame. Jonathan says, I can only base this on the Ringo version rather than John's. You've not heard John's. Is it on the 2-disc version? I can't remember if it's on the 2-disc version or not. I think it might be on disc 1. Is it on disc 1 as a hidden track? Potentially. So, how's this poll going? 69% for I Know, which is good to see. So I'm going to end that poll soon. In fact, let's end it now. We've got I Know is top 3 on the album for me, says Stephen. Again, the raw studio mix is so good. Love that disc. Excellent. Right, let me just go to what won that. I Know. Okay, so next up we have got another hidden track from the album. Mellotron Magic / Weird Slide Guitar. So I appreciate probably not all of you will have heard this. I'm going to talk about this one a bit while the poll's going. I'll just put Mellotron Slide there, you know what I mean. And what's it playing against? It's playing against Only People. Okay. So, your poll's through. Mellotron Magic, weird slide guitar. It's interesting. It's about, what was it? Is it about 14 minutes long or something? And it sounds to me, it's very much a mixture of, if you think of some of the incidental music from Magical Mystery Tour, like when there have been wizards, for example, it's a little bit like that. It's a little bit like George Harrison electronic sounds. It's a little bit like some of the stuff that he might have done on his first 3 experimental albums, but not much. Probably not much, actually. You could imagine a bit of it on Revolution 9. It's very out there. It's good to hear John doing that kind of thing. But it's one of those that you're probably not going to go back and listen to often. But I think it's interesting more from the point of knowing that John was doing that kind of thing in 1973. So it's very interesting for that. How's this poll going? Not surprisingly, Only People is absolutely wiping the floor with Mellotron Magic slide guitar. Excuse me 1 second. So we'll end that poll because that's only going one way, is that. Only People is going through to the quarterfinal. Okay, so the last matchup for this first round is Tight As versus another hidden track, Rock and Roll People. Hopefully you've all had a chance to hear that. There is a version of it that's on Menlove Avenue. This is different. This is a different take, in fact, to what's on Menlove Avenue. We'll come back to that in a second, but your poll should be through now anyway. So which one of these do you want to put through into the next round? Tight As or Rock and Roll People? So Only People got 91% of that last vote. Absolutely sailed through. So Tight As is doing very well here. Again, I think probably a lot more people are familiar with Tight As maybe than they are with Rock and Roll People. I do like Rock and Roll People, but yeah, it's a different take here that's in this box set. I think the Menlove Avenue version was, I think it was 2 takes joined together. This is sort of one complete take, and it sounds so much better. I listened to this and then went immediately listened to the Menlove Avenue version. The Menlove Avenue version just sounded thin, weedy, distant, and tame compared to what we've got in the new box set. Good question from Danny, which I can't answer, so I'm hoping somebody can. Can someone clarify, are the hidden tracks only available on the 6 CD set? I don't know whether there's any hidden tracks on the 2 CD set, purely because I haven't got that one, so I'm not too sure. So if somebody could answer Danny, that would be good. The people are talking about the uncut disc. George Irving saying the uncut disc now very collectible. I've got it just down on the floor here somewhere, just below me. I mean, that was a great deal, wasn't it? Giving that was it 9 tracks from the box set with the magazine that had some really good articles in it as well. So I think a lot of people pounced on that. Let's just be fair to Joe here, to Joe Mayo. That wasn't him. That was not him making all those comments. So let's not tarnish Joe with that brush. Joe's okay. Joe's a good man. So how's this poll going anyway? Tight As has got 83%. It's sailing through. Sailing through. Let's end that poll. So Tight As has knocked out Rock and Roll People. So that's through. And that means we've completed the first round. We're now into the quarterfinals. So here we go. What have we got? We've got, listen, this is an interesting first match in the quarterfinals. 2 quite similar songs, I would say. 2 of the more gentle sort of love songs on the album. I See My Send versus You Are Here. Interesting. Not quite sure how this one will go. So let's just, this is the first time that I See My Send has figured here, because it was the lucky one that was picked out to go through to the straight into the quarterfinals. So your poll is through. Let's see let's see what happens here with I See Sen and You Are Here. It'd be great. Oh, we might have a fairly close one at last. It was going 50, 50, 50, 50. You Are Here is currently on. You Are Here is doing well, 59%. That's interesting. I thought it might go the other way, but there's still plenty of time. Still plenty of time. Hi King Kong, why did they not bring out a vinyl box set with every take from the Mind Games album? Well, I don't think that's feasible, to be honest, because you've got things like, let me just go to this 6 CD box. You've got things like in the outtakes, Out the Blue, take 15. I mean, that wouldn't have been by any means the last take, so you can't have every take. One Day at a Time, take 18 is on here. You're not going to have all the takes available, so they do have to cherry pick and get the what they consider to be the best takes out there on these things, I think. So how's this doing? You Are Here is on 60% at the moment. This is interesting. I don't mind which one wins this. I think they're both very deserving, but I thought it might go the other way. I think You Are Here has probably benefited from that 11-minute version that's on the EP. Maybe that's how I'm reading this, but I could be wrong. This is an interesting one. Yes, Stinger. Is it Stinger? Is that how you pronounce it? I See Sen has the best guitar solo on the record. Yeah, the Dave Spinoza guitar at the end, which I think on some of the other versions in the box set, you get to hear a lot more of that, which is great as well, because it's one of those. It's a little bit like the end of what do you call it? No Words on Band on the Run, where the guitar solo comes in and it sounds great, and then the song just sort of ends really quickly. You want it to go on a little bit more. Tyrone says, great question. Is that responding to somebody else, maybe? Great question. Did John listen to a CD? John wouldn't have ever listened to a CD, because was it like 1982 or something they were launched. Are the hidden tracks on vinyl? Hi Richard, how are you doing? Are the hidden tracks on vinyl? Let me just think about this. No, don't think they are. Are any of them on vinyl? Well, they are, sort of. You've got the hologram EP has got the single version of Meat City on the B-side, and I think that was a hidden track, wasn't it? Single version of Meat City. I think I'm gonna have to get my UV light out here and just double check. Yes, Meat City single. I don't know whether I can get this on screen or not, but we'll try. I don't know whether the UV light shows. You can see that there's some writing coming up there. One of the hidden tracks is Meat City single version, and that is on the hologram EP in the Cube. Lovely looking EP is that. So anyway, right. I see that Jonathan's comment from about 10 minutes ago is still on screen. I've only just noticed that. That's because I seem to have lost the ability to remove those comments. I'm going to try and do that again soon. I'm just going to give this poll another minute, because it could swing round. And I'm going to see if I can get access to put comments back up on screen again, because that disappeared for me a little while ago. So give me a moment. I've just got to do a little tweakery pokery here. Second. It's coming back in a second. Okay. Why has the screen gone really weird? Not quite sure. Has the screen gone really weird at your end? If it has, just bear with me. I'm just going to try and sort it out. I think I might have I might have just done something a little odd. Oh no, it's okay. I think it's okay. Right. I hope this can yeah, I have vanished. Can you just people let me know whether you can actually see me at the moment, because the screen seems to be going a little odd. But anyway, how's this vote going? I think You Are Here won that vote. It's on 56%. So I'm going to end that poll. Things are just going a little bit odd at the moment. Tell you what, let's abandon that. Okay, I think I'm back. I think I am back. So, you should be able to see me now. Should be able to see that now. So, You Are Here, 55% is going through. I'm going to end the poll. Yeah, it should all be back up now on screen. That went a little bit funny. Technology. Right, what happened there anyway? You Are Here got 55% of the vote, and I have no objection to that at all. Not that it matters whether I've got an objection to it. I thought I See Miss N might have won that. That's interesting. Okay, You Are Here, Andrew, says Stephen. Very good. You are very good. I could pretend that I'd just manufactured that whole technical glitch for the purposes of prompting that joke. Anyway, yeah, Maxter, hi there. You were thinking this was going smoothly for you. I've not had many technical problems lately. Touch wood, speakers. It's all gone fairly well just lately, apart from then. But we're back. So anyway, Mind Games versus Bring On the Lucy is next, and this is going to be upsetting for me, I predict. Of course, Mind Games is what a song it is. It's an amazing song. But Bring On the Lucy is a song that I've loved more than I've loved Mind Games for 30 odd years now. Your poll is through anyway. This is the second quarterfinal. Let's see how this goes. I think we know how this is going to go, don't we? But we'll see. Playing Mind Games with us, says Richard. Very good. Yes, it was all going so smoothly, wasn't it? I'm going to make a mess of this pronunciation, but I will try. Gear, Nordhagen. Hi, Andrew. Hi there. Long-time viewer, first-time commenting. We've had a few of those tonight. Just wanted to say hello and thanks. Well, hello and thank you for joining in. Because if people don't join in with this, there's no point in us doing it. So thank you. Captain Mike turned up late and intuition has already gone. Tell me it put up a fight. Well, let's just go back, shall we, and just have a look, and I'll tell you. This was the first round here. Intuition got knocked out by Bring On the Lucy. I can't remember what the percentages were. I think Bring On the Lucy got maybe close to 70%, something like that. So that's what happened to that one. If anybody needs me to go back and look at that again, we can do that. How's this going? Yeah, Mind Games has got 80%. What a surprise. It's a great song. It was always going to happen. Hi Paula, Mind Games for the win. Yeah, it certainly looks likely, doesn't it? George says, good thing is the spoiler has gone. I think I know what you mean there. No doubt back under another fake account at some point soon. We'll see. I'll tell you what though, I don't always get to see this happen if I'm busy doing my admin on the draw. I don't see when you get some people causing trouble. I do have the ability to make somebody an admin here who can kick people off. If anybody wants to do that, let me know. And if I see a familiar face who has built up my trust, I might just make you an admin if you let me know. This should be the final, says Clive. Yeah, I mean, I think the last round, Mind Games versus Out the Blue, could have been the final as well. This could have been the final. If Mind Games goes through, keeps beating quality opposition like this, it would probably deserve the win. I'm going to end the poll because it's clearly won. It's got nearly 80% of the vote here. So Mind Games is through to the semi-final. The next quarter-final is going to be an interesting one. I know which one I would vote for, but that means nothing. I am literally the only person who's not allowed to vote on this. I'm the only person. So, right, this is... I've forgotten already what two songs it was. One Day at a Time versus I Know, I Know. Right, let's get you a poll for this. Which should be through now. One Day at a Time versus I Know, I Know. Interesting. Okay, let's see how this goes. Before I wade in with my thoughts on this one. Pepper Chip says, do you think we will get any material from Sometime in New York City remixed, maybe in combination with the upcoming film about the one-to-one concert? I think... Yeah. I think we will. There are issues. Yeah, I think it will happen. I'm not quite sure how it will happen, but I think it will happen. We will see. We will see. I'm going to go straight to Michael's comment here, an Excel idea. I live for Excel. It's what I do. And I'm actually ashamed that I never thought of doing what you suggested. Fill in all the songs above it. Text in white colour. Yeah, and it would have just done autocomplete, wouldn't it? What a great idea. I'm going to next World Cup that's happening. Thank you, Michael. I like that. That would have been very good. I could do it in each column as well, couldn't I? Yeah. I love that. Yeah, good idea that. You're speaking to somebody here who's spent most of the day writing Excel VBA code. So, yeah. And I never thought of doing that. Never mind. So, what have we got? How's this poll going anyway? I know it's got 68%. I'm glad. One Day at a Time isn't one of my favourite songs on the album. I have said in the various videos I've done lately that now it sounds to me more like a sort of a 1980s style John Lennon song, well ahead of its time. I think the remix has done that for it. But I Know, I think is a deserving winner there. So I'm ending that poll, and I Know is going through into the semi-final. Right, we've got the last quarter-final here. This could be an interesting one as well. I'm not quite sure which way this one will go. I could have a decent guess, though. Right, I seem to have missed a lot of comments here because it didn't scroll down for me. So if I've missed your comment, feel free to ask it again. Hi Beatley Tone, how you doing? I saw that Mrs. Beatley Tone had bought you the cube. What a fantastic present that was. What a lady. What a lady. Hope you're enjoying it, Tone. Richard says, what do I think about the up-and-coming Brian Epstein film? Yeah, I keep forgetting about it. It's I'll definitely be very, very interested in it when it comes, but I've not really thought about it too much. Look at this plonker who's formed yet another account. What a sad man, forming another fake account. I think we know who it is who's doing this as well. And if it's who I think it is, he is a very, very sad man anyway. So, gone. Bye. Look forward to your next fake account. Yeah, we've got I Know has gone through there. Have I done that? The next quarterfinal, Only People versus Tight As, which I haven't done your poll for yet. So we're going to do Only People versus Tight As. That pulls through. So let's see how this goes. How are we doing? Richard wants Mrs. Beatley Tone to buy him a cube as well. Dwayne, hello Dwayne, says every time I hear One Day at a Time, I think of the TV show. I don't know which TV show that is. Is that a UK show or is it in another country? I don't know that one. Mark, you really like Noel Gallagher's cover of Mind Games. Yeah, that was a few years ago, wasn't it? Noel tends to be very sort of reserved and downbeat in his cover versions, I tend to find. I've just got myself a ticket to go and see Noel, actually, 1st of August at Halifax Peace Hall. So, looking forward to that. It's been a few years since I last saw Noel, actually. Beatley Tone Troll is one of, yeah. Oh, I thought it was actually him. It's one of his followers, is it? Right, okay. It's just, yeah, strange people. Stephen, you're in the minority for the first time. You enjoy Only People. This is quite a tight one. No pun intended. Tight as. This is tight as, this one. 58%. I thought Tight As would win. I thought it might get a bit more than that. So it's a bit closer than I thought it might be. Michael says, when am I doing something about the Ruttles? I'll do it now if you like. I've got a Ruttles t-shirt on. Did you know that? Is that what prompted you to ask that? Liam did a great cover of Bless You recently. Did he? I don't think I knew that. I'll have to check that one out. Tyrone, I haven't got any plans to go and see Liam this time. I thought about it. I just never got around to it, really. But I've seen Liam live plenty of times. And I no doubt will again. All right, I'm going to end this poll now because Tight As is winning. So Tight As is through to the semi-final. So let's put that through. So we've got our 4 semi-finalists here. You Are Here versus Mind Games, and I Know versus Tight As. Interesting. 4 good songs there. Dwayne says it was a US show, right, from the 1970s. That's probably why I've never heard of it. I've got a reasonable excuse for not being familiar with it then. Michael, oh, you did see my t-shirt. Yes, okay. I've got this, it must be well over 10 years ago now I got this t-shirt. Nearly all my t-shirts are over 10 years old. At a Ruttles gig in York, which was very good. Neil, sorely missed. Anyway, we're going to go to... Whoop-de-doo-de-doo, it's Scott Andrew Brass. Hello, Scott Andrew Brass. Has the similarity of Bring on the Lucy and Just When You're Thinking Things Over been brought up yet? I don't think it has. I haven't seen it mentioned, but yeah, Just When You're Thinking Things Over by the Charlatans. It's a great song, but it is probably the biggest rip-off of all time, isn't it? And a rip-off of Bring on the Lucy. I do love the song, though. Cats of Sherman. I'm going to get onto the semi-final in a moment. I just want to see... I don't want to miss your chat, so... Cats of Sherman says, do you like the Ballad of Darren by Blur? Yes, I thought it was a very good album. I think it's carrying on from The Magic Whip, which was a really good album. I think the last 2 albums, they seem to have... They've stopped putting some of the nonsense onto their albums, and they've focused on, like, it's got to be a good song to make it on. I think The Narcissist is brilliant. I love The Heights at the end as well, Avalon. There's some really good songs on there. So yes, I do like the Ballad of Darren very much. Claire says, do you think there will be a Hard Day's Night box set this year? No, I think what we will get this year will be from 1964, as in Not Rubber Soul. I don't know. I've not heard anything about a Hard Day's Night box. It'd be great if we did. You saw Nick Clive. You saw Neil Innes at a pub in York. Excellent. Oh, look at this. We've got another. It's pretending to be me now. Bye. Gone. There are some idiots tonight. So anyway, let's start the semi-finals, shall we? And our first semi-final is You Are Here versus Mind Games. Yeah, Alan, I think you know that that's not another Andrew Dixon account. I think you can tell that. You Are Here versus Mind Games. Okay, let's get a poll going for you. This is the start of the semi-finals. Oops. You Are Here versus... It's sad, isn't it, to think that there's somebody just sat there making fake accounts and renaming them, or renaming all their other fake accounts that they've already got. It's a bit sad, really. It's a bit pathetic. Anyway, Michael says the first US visit. That is what I think you should be waiting out for this year. Word on the street. Word on the street is no Rubber Soul box set this year, but 1964 first US visit, something to do with that on its way. I'm not saying that's definite. I'm not saying I have knowledge of that. I'm saying that this is the informed word that's out there, seems to be suggesting that. So anyway, while this poll's going, which currently Mind Games has got 71%, no surprise, really. You Are Here is a great song, but it's been outperformed here. I'm just going to carry on with the chat a little bit. Elijah says, you're lucky enough to have seen Liam and Noel this year, both very good. Which solo work do you prefer? It's interesting, really. I think recently, over the last 5 years, I would take Liam's solo work over Noel's. Before that, I think Noel's first High Flying Birds album, brilliant. I really liked BDI as well. But I think Noel had the edge early on. But I think Liam has got it in the last few years. You Are Here is a beautiful song, says Tyrone. Andrew Galvin says, ooh, please tell your 1964 info. Well, I pretty much have. I think that was it, really. I don't know anything for sure, but it does sound like don't expect Rubber Soul this year, but I expect something to do with the first US visit. That's literally it. There's nothing more for me to say on that. Is that with Peter Jackson at the helm, says Richard? I don't know. I've literally told you everything I've heard there. Bertold, Bob Dylan in Europe soon. Yeah. He's announced he's playing Liverpool, isn't he? That'd be interesting. Will I go see Bob again? I might do. I don't know. I'm still sore over the fact that I couldn't get a Paul McCartney ticket. Maybe I will on the secondary market before it happens. We will see. Was it? This is an interesting question from Andrew. Was it a good idea to limit the second disc of the 2 CD Mind Games to outtakes only, rather than a mix of Elemental, Evolution, outtakes, etc.? Interesting question. Interested to see what other people think. I suppose if there'd have been a bit of each and people had have heard a bit of each and liked it, they might have thought, oh, I'm going to get that bigger box set and get more of that. Could have been an interesting idea. I could see the logic had they done it. Richard, do you want to ask your question again about the Tony Cox video stuff? If you haven't recently. See if anybody can answer it. Now's a few people on. And also as well, if anybody's got any information that they want to share about how you found, what methods have you used to find hidden tracks, because I think it's different for different people, but there might be people here who are trying to find the hidden tracks, might have been struggling, might appreciate a bit of a heads up. So anyway, we've got Mind Games has won this, hasn't it? It's beaten You Are Here. It's into the final. Is anybody surprised? Because I'm certainly not. I think the question for me was always likely to be in this, like what's going to finish runner-up? Because I think Mind Games was always really... Well, it hasn't won yet. Let's not give it the trophy yet, but I think we can see which way it's going. What's going to finish runner-up? It might be Mind Games. Or it might be one of our two final semi-finalists, I Know, or Tight As. Let's get you a poll. So we've got I Know. I can't be bothered with the brackets. Or Tight As. Let's see what is going to be playing against Mind Games in the final. Pete says, do I know the details on the one-to-one concerts documentary? I don't. I've heard very little apart from the initial announcement of it. I mean, it would have been great for it to have tied in with a Sometime in New York City Ultimate Collection. I don't know whether that's going to happen. I suspect it won't. Danny, you look forward to a remastered anthology if it happens. That would be very good. Maybe some new tracks in there. Throw Carnival of Light in there. Get it in there finally. Alan says on the Blu-ray discs, your player says there are 14 tracks, but you can only play 13. First one is hidden. Is there a second hidden on these discs? Yes, there is. Let me just get my UV light out again. There's something else that's Blu-ray only. Which one is it? In fact, what I'll do is I'm just going to fire up my iTunes library because I've got everything tagged in there very much in terms of what's hidden, what it's on. So if you just give me a minute and I will be able to have a look at that. How's this poll doing anyway? I know it's got 61% over Tight As at the moment. That's good. See how long it takes to fire up my iTunes library because this laptop, I think this laptop's on its last legs, to be honest. Richard's asking the question that I mentioned that I know he had. Anyone found the Tony Cox video material on a standalone Blu-ray player? So that's the black and white footage of John doing the early Mind Games demo, the Make Love Not War, where he's sat on a bed, Yoko's laid next to him, Yoko's ex-husband Tony Cox videoing it, all very weird. Does anybody know how to find that on a standalone Blu-ray player? Because Richard's not been able to suss it out. Oh, hi Dino, how are you doing? At the Mind Games Dolby Atmos playback in London, you asked the Universal top man if we would get a Rubber Soul box set this year. He said no, but appeared cagey. Interesting. Okay, good. I got invited to that and I couldn't go last Thursday. So I would have loved to have gone to that. I guess it was a good event. Right, I think my iTunes library is about here. So, what was I looking for? Oh, was there any other songs that were Blu-ray only? Right, let me just have a look. Just doing a bit of a search so I can tell you what's what. Right, okay. So we've got I'm the Greatest Evolution documentary is a hidden track on Blu-ray only. That's Blu-ray Disc 2. Also Blu-ray Disc 2 is the Matchbox That's Alright Mama Heartbreak Hotel Jam. It's not really Heartbreak Hotel, but that's how it's labelled. That's also Blu-ray only Disc 2. Okay. Okay, I think that was an answer to that question. So I don't think there's anything that's Blu-ray only on Disc 1. Apart from the video stuff, which I think might be Disc 1. Okay, let's end this poll because I know has got 59% of the vote, and you've all had ample opportunity to vote. And if you didn't, well, you had plenty of time to do that. So I know is into the final, where it will play Mind Games. I expected Mind Games to probably win this, and yeah, it might not. Let's not assume, but I was very interested to know what it would be up against, and I know is the song that has also found its way into the final. Interesting. We'll do the final in a minute. Let's just go back and have a look at these previous rounds here. I think Out the Blue, if Out the Blue had a kind of draw and not come up against Mind Games in the first round, that could have gone all the way to the final. Pretty sure it could have done. Bring on the Lucy, if it had been in the other half of the draw, might have got to the final. potentially. I think they were probably the big hitters there. You Are Here did well, but couldn't overcome Mind Games in that semi-final. Michael says, you found the hidden track as you showed with Make MKV and Music Media Helper. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I did it with the Blu-rays. I used that software and I found all the hidden tracks and everything, no bother at all. I think it is a bit more difficult with the CDs. Dino, it was a lovely event. You got to see Paul and later a lovely chat and pick with Mary. Oh, is that when he was coming out of MPL? I saw some photos from the day where like people catching him as he came out of MPL Studios. It surely wasn't at the Mind Games playback. I'm assuming that's where you mean you saw him. Beatley Tone, I wish they would get on with the regular album remixes. None of us are getting any younger. This is true. Yeah, I mean, that counts for everybody, doesn't it? That counts for the Beatles, it counts for John, it counts for Paul, George. Yeah, just get on with it. Yeah, it's a long drawn out thing, isn't it? It certainly is. Right, okay, I'm going to do the final of this, the final of the John Lennon Mind Games World Cup. But I'm going to stick around afterwards, so don't nobody go nowhere. And we can just talk about anything, whether it's Mind Games or any other stuff you want to bring up. We'll do that. I'll stick around for a while. So anyway, let's do the final, okay? Which is Mind Games versus I Know, which I will just fix my spelling mistakes. So that should be live for you now. There's the final. Right, so let's carry on a little bit with the chat while that final's happening. Michael's giving some good information there for people about what hidden tracks you can find and where. Thank you for that. Excuse me. I'm going to have a little drink. It's about an hour before my throat starts to hurt. Tyrone says, was it a private event? Well, I'm sure Dino will answer, but I might as well chip in as well. So it was something you could apply for, and then you got selected. So I got an email saying, congratulations, you've been selected with a ticket. If you don't claim it by Monday, it'll be released to somebody else. So it was a private event, but it was open to the public to apply for to win tickets. Oh, Paul was at St John's Wood, right? Was that on Cavendish? Mary at Soho Square, neither went. Yeah, I can't imagine them being at the playback, so I assumed you'd seen them somewhere else. Elijah says next year. Oh, sorry, I'm just having a little whiskey now. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that's good. Elijah, next year you'd love a 1965 box. Yeah, so I was mentioning before about the fact that it looks like it's something 1964 related that's coming, but does that mean that they're going to do everything 1964 related this year? I don't know. I mean, certainly it was about this time of year when we started getting the first rumblings about Red and Blue last year. I remember when I went to Egg Pod Live at the beginning of July last year. I was speaking to somebody and I remember saying then, looks like it's Red and Blue. So that would have been beginning of July. So maybe now might be the time where we start to find out some things about, some rumours about what's happening this year. Are they going to cover all of 1964 as a 60th anniversary? It'd be great if they did. I really think they missed the trick doing it last year as a 60th anniversary. Said it before, say it again. They could have had a fantastic box from birth to Beatlemania. You could have had all the really early stuff. You could have had the Decca audition. You could have up to and including 1963 as a fantastic box. I would really like that. Stephen says, what's my favourite of the recent Beatles box sets from Pepper 2017 to Revolver 2022? I'm going to say in terms of the extras, I'm going to go with that White Album. I think the session stuff, the fact that we've got the Isha demos, And the session material that was there was fantastic. I think that's probably my favourite. Medicinal tipple, Bella the dog, exactly that what it is. You know, you've got to look after your throat. Not that whiskey is technically looking after your throat, I don't think. I probably couldn't pass that one by a doctor. What happened on 7th of July in Liverpool? Did anybody find any hidden codes in Liverpool? Says Michael. 6th of July, was it? I think it was the 6th. So it was the treasure hunt. Mind Games treasure hunt. So the huge map that comes with the Mind Games set, there was lots of clues to locations in Liverpool. Somebody ran the whole thing, which I think must have been like a half marathon or something. And I think they did say that like there was several dozen people finished the whole thing and found every clue, and they won some good prizes. It sounds like they all had a really good day. I couldn't go. I was only just up the road actually. I was in Blackpool that day. It was my granddaughter's birthday a couple of days before, and we were going to Blackpool for the day, so I couldn't go to that unfortunately. Same as I couldn't go to Eggpod, which was the same day. How different will the standalone Mind Games book be from the book in the box set, says Dwayne. It will be. It is quite different. I've got the box, the standalone book. It's in the cube. It's a lot bigger. There's a lot more in it. There's certain things I found in there, photographs, text about things that isn't in the box that's that box there that's in here. And it was the same with Imagine and Plastic Ono Band. The standalone books were more in depth. I tended to. I don't think this is strictly true what I'm about to say, but as it's sort of a generalisation, I thought that the books in the box sets were a bit more album focused, and the standalone books were a little bit more, this is what's going on in their lives focused. Like I said, it's not 100% true, but that's roughly what I felt. Anyway, let's have a look at, well, Mind Games has won, hasn't it? I'm going to end that poll. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, I'm sure, the Mind Games World Cup of songs has been won by the title track, Mind Games. I don't think anybody is going to be surprised by that. I Know was a worthy runner-up. Well done to I Know. So, I tell you what I'm going to do, this isn't going to be a poll, I'm just going to ask you a question here. If you couldn't vote for Mind Games, the title track, what is your favourite song on the album? And let's just see what seems to get the most responses. So if you just type out what would be your favourite song on the album apart from the title track, let's try and get a feel for, is I Know the worthy runner-up, or was it the benefit of a kind of draw? We'll see. Yeah, so I never realised till this week that Mind Games is your all-time favourite Lennon track. Interesting. Is this actually mean Mr. Mayo now? It could be. We have a more sensible comment here. It could actually be Joe. If it is, hello. So, all right, we've got some answers coming through now. Bring on the Lucy. Out the blue, you are here. I know. Meet City. Bring on the Lucy. Out the blue. So, yeah, I think we're getting Out the Blue's doing very well. Bring on the Lucy's doing well. Mind Games, if not, Out the Blue. I know. I think probably Out the Blue is probably winning there. We will see. Penny Lane, you did the treasure hunt. You got 22 locations and got a Mind Games t-shirt. I didn't know there was a Mind Games t-shirt. Fantastic. And you got the map and booklet. Excellent. That's good. Fantastic. Interesting. Bring on the Lucy's getting quite a few votes. I know, which finished runner-up, doesn't seem to be getting many votes. It's got a few early on. I don't think it's actually come out in second place. Yeah. Well, I hope you are the real Joe. We have been ignoring the trolls. Yeah, very good. Right, okay, so that was the World Cup of Mind Games. I'm going to hang around for a little bit, so if anybody wants to discuss anything else, talk about anything, make a poll for those three. I'll do that in a moment. Yes, I will do that. then let us know what that is. But yeah, I'm going to make a poll for the. But which three, Cavo, Richard? Which three am I doing? I think it's probably Out the Blue, I Know, and Bring on the Lucy. I think are the three that I've seen. So yeah, okay, I'm going to do a poll for those three. I Know. Was that one of them? I think it was. Bring on the Lucy. And what was the other one? Out the Blue. Out the Blue, which unfortunately got dumped in the first round because it got up against Mind Games. So let's start that poll. Let's see what would be your favourite of these three that seems to be the most popular runner-up song. Let's see how that goes. Richard says, which of the 6 discs is favourite? That could be a good question, actually. Might do that poll in a minute. It's a lot of stuff to type out, 6 options, but yeah, I'll do that. Which of the Sean hinted, says Station Minute, there would be more Mind Game stuff. Any guesses what that would be? I honestly haven't got a clue. So that's the second time I've seen that mentioned in the last couple of days, because I know that they said a while back that, you know, it's Mind Games, we've got all this Mind Game stuff and more surprises later in the year. But that quote didn't mention that they would be Mind Games related. But this is the second time in 2 days that I've seen about hints that it's the other stuff is also Mind Games related. So I don't know whether I've missed a tweet or something there. Yeah, any news on living in the material world, says Elijah. The only news really was that Danny Harrison confirmed. He mentioned it was a guest on a podcast. I can't remember which podcast it was now. And he said something like, "Oh, last night actually I got sent the new remixes to listen to sort of give his opinion on." So the remixes have been done. Whether Danny approved of them or not, we don't know. So you'd imagine if that's only the stage that it had got to, it's probably still a while off. But it certainly sounds like they're planning on doing it. Joe says, "Do I think Walls and Bridges will be next?" Yeah, I would assume so. You would assume so. Unless there's just this thing about will they want to do double fantasy and maybe Milk and Honey? I don't know whether that would be separate or included. Would they want to have, you know, the best chance of Yoko being around for that? So will they bring that forward? I don't know. You'd assume it would either be, if it's not going to be Walls and Bridges, would assume they would be doing the 1980 stuff instead. Jonathan Robertson says, "I hope they release Let It Be on Blu-ray." Yeah, you've got the Get Back and wouldn't want to not have Let It Be. I'm sure they will. I don't have any knowledge of that at all, but I'd be surprised if because it was announced, wasn't it, that who was it? Was it Sony Australia or something like that? Have been not hired's not the word, but they've been appointed by Disney to handle physical media for them, because Disney, you know, they don't like physical media, but it seems like they might be having a bit of a change of heart, and they've appointed, I think it was Sony Australia, somebody tell me if I've got that wrong, to handle it. So hopefully that's something that will happen. They must know that Beatles fans love physical media, and hopefully it has a little bit more love put into it than the Blu-ray and DVD of Get Back, which was, I think Disney really didn't want to release that. Oh yes, Claire, John Lennon's Liverpool map and booklet. Yeah, I got an email about that earlier today to say it's back on sale. If anybody missed out on that fantastic map that's been coloured in, really, really, really well done, with John Lennon's face over the huge map of Liverpool. It's back on sale again. George, you've wondered if Sean approached May Pang in any way during production of this brilliant box set. I'm pretty sure I noticed May's name in the credits somewhere. Now, was it in the huge cube or was it in this? I'm just going to see if I can find anything at the back of the book here, but I'm sure I saw May Pang's name mentioned. Special thanks Is it in that section? Very special thanks, maybe. I'm sure I saw May's name. I can't see it there, but I'm sure it's there somewhere. If anybody knows exactly where, let me know and then I'll bring it up on screen. But I thought at the back of that book it did thank May. Sony North America will handle Disney discs, says Michael. Okay, cool. Hi Graham, how you doing? Has everyone discovered the hidden tracks? There was a bit of chat about that in the messages a few minutes ago. There was some information being shared about that. I think they're certainly easier to find on Blu-ray than they are on CD, is my impression. Station Minute, you're still waiting for the Yoko map to go on sale. Has that not gone on sale yet? I know they're doing a treasure hunt in Tokyo, aren't they? Like they did the Liverpool one. How's this poll going anyway? I've been neglecting the poll. Out the blue, 49%. Clear winner. Interesting. Yeah, and it got dumped out in the first round by Mind Games. An awful draw for Out the Blue. It really was. But that's the way it goes. So Out the Blue, I would say, is your second favourite song. But I Know is the one that was that coped well and got to the end of the and got to the final. I'm just going to hide that XL now because we don't need that there anymore, and it's right over my face, which many would say is a bonus. Many would say. Oh, Beatley Tone says May is in the Mind Games TV advert on the Blu-ray. Oh yes, the one with the Eltons in with and the Queen. Yeah. Have I heard take one of Number 9 Dream on YouTube? Fantastic. I don't think I have. I'll have to have a look at that. I'll have to have a look for that. Pepper Chips, you read May Pang's book. Hard to find. Yeah, I saw the film, the documentary film, maybe about 3 months ago, and I really enjoyed that. It's well worth a watch. Really enjoyed it. BT, yes, play after 3 consecutive plays of MG promo video automatically. Oh yeah, that's one. Is that the Queen video? I've seen something about, yeah, if you just leave it running, then you find one of the hidden tracks. Any thoughts on the upcoming Dylan 1974 live release? It's a lot of discs, isn't it? How many is it? Is it 27 discs or something? It's too much. I can't cope. I mean, I've got... let's just turn that around a bit. I've got that 1966 live recordings box there, which, you know, I've ploughed through about 3 discs of that altogether since I got it, and it's like 30 odd discs. It's too much. So I think it's a bare bones copyright extension release type release. Yeah. Thank you, Joe. You spoke to George. George, I think that might actually be Joe. So I think you can. I think that unless he turns and we find out it wasn't, I think that's actually Joe. That message was good. Andrew says, I found all the audio hidden tracks on CDs, but can only access them on one of my players. My Marantz will not rewind before the start of track 1. Yeah, it is unfortunate that people are struggling on some players to find the hidden tracks. I'm glad that I tend not to play CDs. I rip them, and then I just play them through my streamer from that point onwards. So I don't actually need to ever put a CD in a player again, really, after I've ripped it. But I ripped the Blu-rays because I wanted the high-res audio, and they're a lot easier to find on the... If you know how to rip Blu-ray audio, it's a lot easier to get all the content off that. Mark, Live Aid was 39 years ago last week. Where does the time go? Queen and U2 were brilliant that day. Do you know what? One of the songs that I would say I've probably listened to more than any other this year is U2 doing Bad at Live Aid. I found that you could download it in high res from Qobuz So I did that a few months back, and it's just incredible. If Queen hadn't played that day, I think U2 would be the ones who would be most remembered. But of course, Freddie went and did the most amazing performance of all time, probably. But yeah, U2 doing Bad was incredible. Oh, the Tokyo Treasure Hunt's already happened, has it, Penny? Okay. Hopefully plenty of people did that. Dino, you opened your box tonight, and does the Cube have the John audio promo for Mind Games and Tower Records? Well, the Cube doesn't have any audio that the 6 CD box set doesn't have. So I don't think there's a Tower Records advert in there. Oh, Michael, yes, thank you. I mentioned one hand clapping. What's the news there? And what about the Man on the Run documentary? Blimey, yeah, I've not even thought about that for a while. I mentioned one hand clapping. Right, okay. Yeah, there's something I wanted to say here. I'm well aware that I haven't done any video to do with one hand clapping, apart from maybe when it was first announced. And I've had quite a few people commenting, and I don't mean this sarcastically, I mean this genuinely. I'm very flattered that people are sending me messages saying, "Where's your review? I want your review on it." I am genuinely flattered that people are saying that. It's like there's been a lot of the circumstances why I haven't yet done a video since one hand clapping came out. So I mapped out various reasons. I mapped out a long time ago what I was going to do for Mind Games before I knew about one hand clapping, and I sort of allocated my time to do that. I don't have a lot of spare time at all, ever, for anything. I would love to do a lot more videos than I do. I just don't have the time. Because I'd plotted out what I was going to do for Mind Games, and that was sort of fixed. I'm going to do this then, I'm going to do this then. I didn't have much spare time. Also, the other thing that really hampered me was one hand clapping came out on Friday, the 14th of June. I went on holiday the day after. So I was away, really. I didn't get a chance to do anything before I went on holiday. I was then away from holiday. I then knew that the cube, the big Mind Games cube, was arriving pretty much as soon as I got back from holiday, and I knew that I had to make that my priority, really, because I'd got that all mapped out. And it's only really now that I think tonight, this live stream is what I intend to be me wrapping up Mind Games, and I can move on after this, because I know I've really sort of I've done so many videos on it. I think a lot of people must have stopped watching by now. But I had it all mapped out, and I don't have any other time to do other stuff. So my next priority is to talk about one hand clapping, because I am almost disappointed with myself that I haven't had a chance to do anything with it yet. I have played one hand clapping a lot, and I love it. There's an early pointer to my review. Yeah, it's great. But yeah, I will do a full review of that and talk about that more. Oh, Dino, you went to Live Aid. You only went to see Paul, and then you couldn't hear him because his mic failed. Paul doesn't have a lot of luck at those kind of events, does he, with technical issues. The Tower Record ad is on Blu-ray too. Is the Tower Record ad the Queen advert? Is that one, or is there something else that I've not seen yet? Not sure. So I hope everybody else, and you know what, I'm going to do a little poll here about one hand clapping. If you just bear with me, typing like a div again. Are you enjoying one hand clapping? I'd just like to see whether people in the chat are liking it or not. See what comes through on that. I expect people probably will, but we'll see. Get get your comments coming through, any questions that you've got, because we might be near the last few minutes potentially of this. So I want to give everybody a chance to ask what they want to. Hi Martin, how are you doing? Yeah, I know you're not a fan of mind games, are you? You never have been. I'm aware of that. You've come to realise you can say the album is crap in a respectful way. Okay. You're a reformed character. Give me the single. It's amazing. Yeah, you don't like it. You don't like it. It's fair enough. Nobody has to be forced to like an album, do they? I don't think. I can't remember exactly where I ranked it when I did a John Lennon album ranking video a few years ago. I can't remember exactly where I ranked it. So certainly, if you think, like, I've always had Walls and Bridges as a big gap down to Mind Games, that gap has closed an awful lot for me. I think just the musicianship is so much better than I ever thought it was from listening to these sessions. I would have loved it. How great would it have been if that band could have gone out and played? I think intimate gigs would have suited it really well. And if you think like One Hand Clapping, almost, it's interesting that this has come out at about the same time. It's from a very similar period. It's sort of within a year in terms of time frame, and it's John in a sort of a fairly intimate studio setting doing his new songs. So there's some similarities there with One Hand Clapping, I think. So this poll, 84% of you are enjoying One Hand Clapping. That's good to hear. Yeah, so it's after tonight, it's my YouTube priority, unless something unexpected comes along that I have to cover. I don't have to cover it. Flipping heck, I'm not a ITV BBC war correspondent. I'm a flipping heck. I don't have to cover anything, but it's what I want to be my priority next. Bertold, I think you're saying thank you from Germany. I think, I think that's what you're saying. If so, thank you. Yeah, cool. Okay. Shame One Hand Clapping wasn't packaged as a full deluxe box set, says Harry. Yeah, I'm really happy that we've got what we've got. I really like the... It's a shame that the vinyl with the 7-inch bonus disc wasn't a little bit more widely available. That would have been great. But for those of us that managed to get it, great. I love that I've got a really good copy now of the Peggy Sue from the Backyard, which I got to know like maybe a lot of people in the 80s. It was featured on that Press to Play TV special documentary that he did. It was featured in there for no obvious reason that I can think of. I think they were doing a bit of a retrospective of his solo career, and they played it, and I've always loved it since then. So to have a real good copy of that, yeah. I've just seen Richard saying that his favourite disc is the Elemental disc. I said I was going to do a little poll, didn't I? Which I'll do in a second. But Graham, my channel keeps dropping out. TV and laptop. Is anyone else having a problem too? I don't know whether anyone else is having a problem. Let us know. But I'm just going to do... Right, okay, I'm going to start a poll. And this is about which is your favourite disc. So I'm going to do... when I say... I've typed out Remix as the first option. That's the main album. So then we've got... outtakes. This is whether I can remember. I don't know whether I can actually have 6 options. It might limit me to 4. Elements. Yeah, I can only have 4 options. I can't do 6. So I can't put raw. I've not put the Raw Studio mixers or the Evolution documentaries. Oh well, I'm going to just do I'm going to do those 4. YouTube won't let you put 6 options on a poll. Anyway. No problems with other people. Okay, good. So maybe just at your end then, Graham. Dino, your Mind Games was your first Lennon album on cheap Music for Pleasure tape in 1981. Played it on a crappy tape player. Only now am I loving it. Great. This is what these reissues can do, isn't it? Make you see these or help you to see these albums in a new light. Yeah, cool. No problem at your end, Beatley Tone. That's good. Cool, right, okay, so the remix is winning. That's not surprising, really. The outtakes. I'm surprised that the Elemental mixers is not doing as well as I thought it might. I love the Elemental mixers. I think they're really good. And I'm going to go back to those often, definitely. Matthew says Elementals would love a Record Store Day standalone vinyl release of the Elemental mixers. Yeah, I think they do sound good on vinyl. I think the outtakes disc, I said it on my vinyl review video, the outtakes disc I think is the best sounding, certainly through my system anyway. And, you know, I can only go with what my ears and my system say. Other people's ears and other people's systems might come across differently. Yeah, the 2002 remix was a revelation, says Gare. Gare? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Absolutely. I didn't get the 2002 remix until, I'm going to guess, about 5 or 6 years ago. And I really, really enjoy that mix. Especially the song I Know was the song that just stood out for me immediately, that I'd always really not taken much notice of. Okay, so let's end that poll. Elemental Mixers has pulled itself up into third place on 16%. I don't know whether that's because I gave it a big up. I don't think I have much influence in these things. Excellent. Right, okay, cool. Folks, I think I'm about ready to wrap it up there. I want to thank everybody for joining the World Cup of Mind Games songs. It's been fun. I think we all knew that the title track would win, but it was good to see how other stuff fared. So thank you everybody for joining in on that. It's been fun. I will be back very soon. Like I said, I do want to do something with one hand clapping, because I'm very aware I just haven't had chance. Time is something I don't get a lot of spare. So there are some weeks where I want to make a video, and at the end of the week I think I've not had chance. I've gone past the point now. I used to try and do really quick videos, like, oh, I've got to do this video quick, got to get it out quick, and I don't do that now. I prefer to do it properly rather than do it quickly. Whether that comes across or not in the final video, I have no idea, but that's what I like to do now. And sometimes I just don't have time to do that. So, yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for joining. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you again very soon. Take care and keep on playing those mind games, folks. I'll see you all later. Bye.